free MBA classes. So today we'll start the decision science. I completed so many chapters of decision science. So today we'll start with the one of the important chapter of decision science, which is called as the linear programming. So as the name suggests, like linear programming, so it is a mathematical model or it is a mathematical technique where the linear function is maximized or minimized when subject to various constraints. And also if will come the linear programming in the different way, if I'll tell that one. So linear programming is the mathematical method that is used to determine the best possible outcome or solution from the given set of parameters or the list of requirement, which is represented in the form of linear relationship. So to understand it better, let's come to a small example. Suppose there is a delivery company, FedEx. It's a global company or international company, so most of people know that one. So FedEx company delivery man or delivery boy have 6 packages to deliver in the day, and the warehouse is located at the point of A. So where the black color house is there and one vehicle is there, so that is called as a warehouse, and the delivery boy has to deliver its item to the multiple location, like 6 different location. And I just mentioned the distance between the one location to other location, so you can consider that one as the kilometer. So suppose A to U is 10 kilometer, similarly U to W is 8 kilometer, similarly V to Z 20 kilometer. So we have to make or we have to do a linear programming, or uh, we have to find one formula where we have to make the shortest distance so the delivery person can visit all the places in the day in the shortest route or in the less time. So if he will deliver in the less time, obviously he in his office time he can cover all the places. So that is our objective. So by the linear programming, so we can find out the best shortest route to deliver the all the packages in the all the location in a single day. So this is one of the example where we can use our linear programming to find out the shortest route. Okay, so let's come to the multiple terminology, what all the things we have to use in the linear programming, because to know the linear programming we have to be hands on or we have to be familiar with the different type of terminology what we have to use in the linear programming. So first terminology I taken as decision variable. So the decision variable is a variable that will decide my output. Like as I told, it is a equation. So in that we have to identify the decision variable. So in this we can take like x and y or z as the multiple decision variable, and the total number of units or total number of values we can take as the units. So that is called the decision variable. In the next, like if we'll go to the examples, when I'll tell about the different type of examples, that time I'll tell you what is the decision variable in the in this class. So next we have to know what is the objective function. So objective function, as the name suggests, it will be like objective of decision making. So in this linear programming, what we'll do, like suppose one company want to increase its profit, so we have to write a formula, or we have to write a equation, so that it will be denote to the objective function. So that also I'll tell in my example, next example. So next we will come for the constant. The constant are the restriction or limitation on the decision variable. The limit, when we are taking any decision, or that time there is some limitation has to be there, so that we can take the what is the best possible way to do, or to find our decision, or to find our decision. So in that one, the limit of value of the decision variable. So here the if I'll come to the different example. So there is the limit of availability, that we can take as the one of the constant. Suppose I am means working in a company, I have to take the decision. So there is constant, like I have this much of raw material can come to the company for a 1 month. So that is my constant. So according to that, I have to take the decision. So that we can take as a constant. And another thing is the non-negative restriction. So all the linear programs, the decision variables should take non-negative values. This means the value of the decision variable, what is the decision variable will take, that should be greater than and equal to 0. Then only we can use as the that variable as the decision variable. So non-negative restriction should be there. So these are the different four terminology what we'll use in our linear programming. So we'll also discuss in the different examples. So one is the decision variable, one is the objective function, one is a constant, and one is the non-negative restriction. It should be there, like non-negative restriction, it will be must for the any linear programming. So next we have to find out the how to formulate the linear programming problem. First, first of all, to taking any linear programming problem, first we have to find out the decision variable, which is the most important. Then we have to write the objective function according to that. Then we have to mention a constant, and we have to state the non-negative restriction. So this is the four different steps we have to follow when we are processing, or when you are doing the formulating the linear programming problem. So let's take one example. So in this example, I took what all the questions actually it will coming. It's a like a one of the important questions. So let's start with that. Consider a chocolate manufacturing company that produces only two type of chocolate, chocolate A and chocolate B. And both of the chocolate require milk and chocos, because all of us know that one, the milk and choco is required to make the chocolate. To manufacture each unit of A and B, the following quantities are required. The each unit of A require 1 unit of milk and 3 unit of chocos. Similarly, unit B require 1 unit of milk and 2 unit of choco. Maybe it is a different variant or different type of chocolates we are making. A and B, different variants of the chocolate, where 1 unit of milk and 3 unit of chocos is required to make A, and 1 unit of milk and 2 unit of chocos is required to make B. The company kitchen has total 5 unit of milk and 12 unit of chocos. On each sale, the company make the profit of 6 per unit A sold and 5 per unit B sold. So as I told, the constant is there. So here the availability, like the company kitchen have only 5 unit of milk and 12 unit of chocos. So that is a constant. And the 6 per unit A sold and 5 per unit B sold. That is my like profit for A and B. Now the company wishes to maximize its profit. So how many unit of A and how many unit of B will produce, that time the company will make the profit. So this is my example. So let me tell you once again. The there is two different variant of chocolate, A and B, and A require 1 unit of milk and 3 unit of chocos. B require 1 unit of milk and 2 unit of chocos. But the constant that the kitchen have total 5 unit of milk and 12 unit of chocos, and the profit is like A is making 6 rupees when it's sold, and B is making a profit of 5 rupees when it's sold. Now we have to find out the maximized profit. So we have which how many unit of A and how many unit of B we have to produce according to that. So let's find the solution. So to find the solution, first of all, when you are going to linear programming, to make you understand or to understand the things are better, let's do in the tabular format. Okay, so for A, I require 1 unit of milk and 3 unit of chocos. So I written in the first table like 1 unit of milk and 3 unit of chocos, and the profit per unit of A is 6 rupees. Similarly, for B, I require 1 unit of milk and 2 unit of chocos, and the profit is 5. But the total milk I have is 5 and total chocos I have 12. So in this case, let's first I told like first thing we have to find the decision variable to solve this problem. So let's find the decision variable. So here the total number of unit which is unknown to us. So total number of unit produced by A, let's take as X, and total number of unit of B, let's take as Y. So the X and Y are the variable. So let's find the formula, or to find the second step we have to find the objective function. So for that one, because in the function there is two sides, so let's take as the total profit as a Z. So what will happen, like we have to get the maximum profit or maximum Z value. So what are the things we have to require? We have to give the some amount of A or some amount of B, or like two different kind of unit we have to take, and after that we have to get the maximum profit. So let's take the profit, or uh, profit of A, let's take as 6, and the profit of B is 5. So to get the maximum profit, because I don't know how many units I have to produce for A and how many units I have to produce for B, so I wrote the formula or objective function as 6x plus 5y. So in that one, this is a maximize or max z we have to write to get the maximum profit. Okay, so next the company will try to produce the as many as unit of A and B to maximize its profit, but the resource of milk and chocos are available are limited. So as I told, it is a constant. So as per the above table, the maximum X plus Y according to milk, if we take as per the above table, each unit of A and B require 1 unit of milk. So the total amount of milk available is 5 units. To represent that in the mathematically, so we have to take as X plus 5 lesser than equal to 5. And similarly, we have to take the chocos. So the each unit of A and B require 3 unit of and 2 unit of chocos respectively. So the total amount of the chocos available is 12 units. So to represent that one, we have to write that one as 3x plus 2y less than equal to 12. And the last step, we done the identify the decision variable, we wrote the objective function, and we mentioned the constant. So last point, we have to do the explicitly we have to state that non-negative restriction we have to do. So for that, I wrote the two constant x and y is always greater than equal to 0. To get the maximized profit, the above inequality have to be satisfied. This is called the formulating real world problem into the mathematical model. So this formula or this kind of function whatever written, we can solve that one using the different methods that I'll tell. But before that one, first we have to get to know how to formalize or how to make the formula from the data. So here I made the different kind of models according to my data. So I taken another one example. So a farmer recently acquired like 110 hectares piece of land, and he is decided to grow the wheat and barley on the land due to the quality of the sun and the region's excellent climate. The entire production wheat and barley can be sold. He want to know the how to plant each variety in the 110 hectares given the cost and the net profit and the labor requirement according to the data given. So here the things there like variety, cost, net profit, and man day per hectare. Suppose when you are going to the make the wheat, so that time I require the cost of 100 and the net profit will come 50. Similarly, the man days per hectare will require 10. Similarly, if we take the barley, the cost per hectare is 200, net profit is 120, and man day per hectare is 30. So farmer have the budget of 10,000. So as I told, is there a constant always be there, and the availability of 1,200 man days during the planning horizon. So here the two different constants are the budget and the man days. So here we have to find the optimal solution and the optimal value. First, first thing we have to do the identify the decision variable. So the total area of growing is wheat is x, that is which is unknown. You have to when you are going to this type of problem, so you have to find out what is unknown or what is the most important variable, because in the question it is asked the like he have to find the optimal value for the to get the more profit. So in that one, like how many miss like in the field how many part he'll do the wheat and how many part he have to do or grow the barley cultivation. So according to that he has to take the decision. So the total area of growing the wheat is x and total area of growing the barley is y. So x and y are my two decision variables. So here we require the maximum profit. So since the production from the entire land can be sold in the market and the farmer want to maximize its profit of the total purchase, so we given the net profit in the both wheat and barley. So here the farmer can earn the net profit is $50 for each hectare of wheat and $120 for each hectare of barley. So let's do the objective function, our second step. So the max z equal to 50x plus 120y. Third step, writing the constant, which is the most important thing. The farmer given the total budget of $10,000. The cost of producing wheat and barley per hectare is given to us. So the upper cap of the total cost spent by the farmer. So the equation become 100x plus 200y less than equal to 10,000. Why 100x? Because the cost per hectare for wheat is 100 and cost per hectare for barley is 200. So 100x plus 200y is less than equal to 10,000. Why we are writing less than equal to? Because sometimes the value may be less than 10,000, but maximum it will be 10,000. So I wrote everywhere in the, when you are writing the constant, that time everywhere we have to write like less than equal to the value. And the second constant, the next constant is the mandate. In the questions I already told, like the budget and the mandate are the two different constants. So as per the table given, the mandate per hectare for wheat and barley is as follows. Like the for per hectare mandate for wheat is 10 and for barley is 30. So I wrote 10x plus 30y is less than equal to 1200. As the mandate can be less than 1200 and the maximum value is 1200, so I kept like that. And the third thing, that constant we never noticed, or when you are reading the problem, that you never noticed, that is the total available acres, that is 110 acres. So obviously the x and y as a different part or different kind of values of total 110 hectares. So x plus y less than equal to 110. Then fourth step is the non-negative restriction. Always I told the value of x and y should be greater than equal to 0. So to do that one, x is greater than equal to 0 and y is greater than equal to 0. These steps we have to follow for the linear programming. So it's time to solve it. So to solve this one, so first we have to simplify the equation. Like as I told, like there is a multiple equations like 100x plus 200y less than equal to 10,000. So if you divide 100 in the both the sides, we got like x plus 2y less than equal to, if you divide 100 of 10,000, it will come as 100. So we got the simplified equation, because when you are going to the simplified equation, it will be easy to solve. Similarly, I took as 10x plus 30y less than equal to 1200. So in that one, I'll divide by 10. So I got the x plus 3y less than equal to 120. So this is the one equation. And the third equation, x plus y less than equal to 110. So as I told, x and y value always greater than equal to 0. So when you are plotting any graph, x and y, as it is in the positive or it is a positive direction, it will obviously, it will come in the first quadrant of our graph. To get that one, so I'll show you how it done. So I took the different variables and according to that I put the different values. So I got the graphs. So if it like there are three equations, so there is three different graphs. So according to x plus y less than equal to 110, one graph I made, and x plus 2y less than equal to 100, I made another graph, and x plus 3y less than equal to 120, I made another graph. So it is the graphically we can solve this issue. So in that one we got the point like the x value should be 60 and y value is equal to 20. So how we got that one? That is now the question. So you can see here for the when the value is coming, you can see here like when the value of x is 60 and the y is 20, so it will covering the all the part of the that three different equations. So you can, if you plot here, so you'll get here the one one value will get here like 60 and 20. So as the here the value of x, so that the value of x and is 60 and y is 20. So you can see if in the graph, if we'll do, so it will be, if we'll make the from 20 to one straight line, if we'll draw, it will touch the in some part like here, and from there you can take the, so this reason we can take, and according to that like different three different formulas. So this is the most common area for all the three equations. So the maximum value or optimal value of x and y is equal to 60 and 20. So according to 60 and 20 we got the value, so we have to find the what is the maximum profit. So already we done the formula like max z equal to 50x plus 120y. So we have to just put the values 50 into 60, 120 into 20. So we got the 5400 as the maximum profit the company will gain. So this is the graphical method to solve the LP. So I'll also take some different examples of the graphical method in the next class of the LP, as well as the I'll tell the another one method. By that we can solve our this issue or solve the linear programming issue or problem, that is simplex method, that I'll cover in the next class. So for today, thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe my channel to get the multiple updates and to get the good videos. I'll also give you the different type of case studies according to the how is the different subjects. I'll take the case studies also, we'll discuss that case studies, so that also help you in that. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.